Hey, what's up, Rough Cuts? It's Jim. Today is Tuesday, and today's film is The Driver. Now, The Driver is a 1978 film directed by Walter Hill. Walter Hill is the director of such films as 48 Hours and The Warriors. This was his second film. He made this right after his first film, Hard Times, and before his third film, The Warriors. This guy, the driver, played by Ryan O'Neal, who's a driver for bank robberies or robberies in general, and he's a good getaway car driver. Bruce Dern's character, the detective, has been trying to get the driver for a while, and he really wants to get, this lone cowboy, as he calls him, out there robbing banks. Along the way, he meets this girl, the player, played by Isabella Adjani, and no one in this movie really has a name. They're all kind of like the detective, the driver, the player, No one has a distinct name. It's just this very basic, minimalist genre piece. What the detective does is he tries to set up the driver. When the detective arrests this other gang, he tries to convince them to hire the driver to be their driver and to set them up and to get the money from him so he can finally catch the driver and stop, this really good getaway driver from continuing his streak of successfully robbing banks. And it has these intense, really well shot and well choreographed car chases, which, it shows off Ryan O'Neal's character's prowess of being this incredible driver, that they don't overdo it with score. It's mainly car noise. I like car noise in my car chases. I don't like techno music so much. I like Walter Hill a lot. I think this is probably one of the more experimental, studious films I've seen him ever make, because it's very minimalist. It's like kind of minimalist deconstruction of a genre almost, because it's like how little information can you give and still understand what's going on, because I didn't know any of the characters' names. They never say them, but they're not important, and so it makes you think, well, how important are characters' names in the first place? Because most people don't. I mean, even if you're really into movies, you don't remember the majority of characters' names you hear. But in this, it's just simply, the driver, the player, the detective. Ryan O'Neal's character doesn't say much. He's usually, it's kind of a departure for Ryan O'Neal, because you think of him more as kind of a very talkative, almost apologetic kind of guy. I don't know, he's a little more charming normally. And although he's charming this, he's very stoic and quiet, and he says very little. I don't think he speaks until 15 minutes into the movie, and even then he doesn't really talk very much. He's a very simple man. I'm surprised Ryan O'Neal played it off so well. Apparently this was written for Steve McQueen. I guess it would actually make more sense if it was Steve McQueen. The action sequences are very loud, but then it has such quiet dialogue. It's very influenced by Lee Samurai, and it kind of reminds me of an action movie from last year, The American. Just very quiet, but then the action's very intense and focused, and everyone who's has guns is very calm, and this is such a job. It's very uniform and routine. It's very cold and heartless, and I think that gives an interesting feel, especially with it has this foreboding kind of moody music going on. The Driver is kind of exciting in its own kind of simple way. Cat and mouse, kind of neo-noir. What it's trying to say about genre, I'm not exactly sure. I guess is it trying to say that we like the genre more than the characters, that when we're seeing a movie like The Driver, we just want to see the driver and the detective, and we don't really want to see all that other stuff. And most of the time I think that is true. It's kind of both a case study of genre and at the same time a very basic genre film. It's very subtle about what it's doing, so I think you kind of can miss it, and I think it kind of wants you to. Thank you very much, Rough Cut viewers, for letting me review yet another movie, and I will be back next Tuesday. Please subscribe to my main channel and follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, and potentially VHX, and follow Earl Barrett Holloway's Tumblr. He's the guy who did the picture before and after this video, and thank you very much. I'm sorry I did so many car things. That actually was an accident and not on purpose at all. Except I did review this because Drive is coming out, and I thought maybe they'll be related. I have no clue. They feel like similar premise. Driver, Ryan O'Neal, Ryan Gosling.